All right, Xfinity at Texas. I'm running 16-1 plus 257. I think I could go maybe a little lower on the brake bias, but it doesn't make too much of a difference, probably. So this is probably going to be a second lap hot lap. I'm going to at least attempt the first lap. With the first lap, the grip in 1 and 2 is just not quite there, and you don't get quite the run up to the line, so you lose a little bit of time off the end. So what I found with Texas is you don't want to get outside of this groove even on your run up. So I'm just going to try to carry as much speed as I can in this groove right here. Very easy to get into the wall on your out lap because of the lack of grip. So I'm going to use a little bit of brake, get out of the gas early, brake it down to the bottom early, and then try to throttle through the white line. You want your car to be feeling a little bit tight through the corner because you have the angle if you make that late apex, but what you don't have is the grip in your rears. So you kind of want it to be a little bit tight or preferably neutral. Okay, here we go, lap 2. So I want to turn in really early, but not get to the bottom until late. Missed the bottom a little bit there. Shouldn't be the end of the world though. We can kind of whip it around the outside. Yeah, not the worst thing. You might try a third lap here. Then 3 and 4, you're gonna have to let out just a tiny bit as you get into the banking. And then I just want to hold it as close to the white line as possible and keep this off the wall. Very, very good 3 and 4 there. Let me see if I can get a better 1 and 2 for you guys. So brake, and then get it all the way down to the white. Perfect. That's a lot better. And then you don't want it to snap on you, so I'm just making some proactive corrections so that I can get the car straight. And then I don't know if I can copy that 3 and 4 here to get a better time, but we'll try. Oh no, hit the apron. Oh well. So even though that this second lap was faster in 1 and 2, I think it looks a lot better on the lap 3 stories. I'm just going to show you this lap. So lap 7 here. The 1 and 2 I don't really like here, so we'll cover that after the 3 and 4. The 3 and 4 was about the best that I could probably do it. So I enter a little bit wide because this car really loves to lose the rear off of the banking transition. So you see that we're kind of in one banking, and then suddenly we're in the banking. Loves to lose the rear off of that. So as I go over that transition, I go to half throttle. So see, like half throttle. And then I let the car start to come down to the white line, but I still want to full throttle through the white line. So full throttle through it. And I'm just now modulating the throttle to keep me as close to the white line without losing my rear as possible. And I just want to be by that white line as long as I possibly can while also still trying to force a full throttle. Very tough to balance. There's going to be a lot of wheel work. A lot of this wheel work was just to keep the car in that pitch where it's rotating, it's on the edge of grip. And that's very important for qualifying. It probably is important too for race, but only to the point where if you overstep too much, you're just going to roast your tires here. So I don't know if I recommend this approach for race, but I really like getting the car on the edge of grip for qualifying. It's just a lot of work to be done on the wheel. Just trying to keep the car straight while still rotating. It's kind of an oxymoron, but when you get that right rear on the edge of grip, you'll see exactly what I mean here. Okay, 1 and 2. This lap was a lot better. So I turn in about at the Texas time I begin to. Get on the brake, trail it at about 10%, and then just trail all the way to the bottom, and then once you get about a lane from the bottom, I want to get on the throttle. You don't want to wait till you get to the bottom to get on the throttle because that's just wasting time. We don't care about our tires right now. So I'm going to throttle through the bottom, picking up half first. But when I get to the white line, I'm going to full, or at least as close to full as I can without kicking out the rear. And if you apex late enough, you're not even going to have to worry about this exit. Now, a big mistake people make is they'll get to the bottom too early. So I almost want to see it as I start up by the Texas right here. I see a straight line from me to the bottom. And if I get to the bottom more or less along that straight line, that's going to be good enough for me to full throttle all the way out. you can see that it's probably about 2/3 of the way through the corner I get to the bottom of the white line, and Texas 1 and 2 is so wide that I can just open up the wheel, aim the car almost at the wall, and just keep it off the wall without having to do anything like slide the rear tire. So that's more or less my strategies for a hot lap. They're going to be very different for race because tire management is key here. The Xfinity car loves to overheat tires at Texas. Really at any 1.5 miles, but Texas, because the corners are so different, the car can't be set up to accommodate both the corners in the sense that you're always going to feel a little bit on edge. So 3 and 4, I really like the half throttle over the transition and then just holding that until you feel like you can be secure. I'm not really going for that edge of grip feeling that I was in qualifying because in theory it works well, but I make a mistake and it nullifies all the benefits. So I'm going to brake early, really get it down there, still pick up the throttle early, but now I'm just not going to force the full throttle until I know that my wheel can start to open up. A little bit slower, but that's to be expected. And 3 and 4, we're carrying a lot of speed, so I'm just going to half throttle over the banking transition. Don't be afraid to hold it at that 80%, especially in short run. Whoops, that was a mental thing. Shouldn't be any bad on the Xfinity car. So, back out, early brake to the bottom, pick it up early, and then just hold it as low as you can for as long as you can. And then try to make that exit a straight shot. That's a good corner for not trying to roast the tires. So yeah, don't be afraid. You do not want to enter 3 and 4 full throttle, even though it feels like you possibly can. The risk is just not worth the reward. I don't think anybody would be able to full throttle the entrance of 3 every time and not slide their tire. It's just too easy to do, too unpredictable even. But what we're trying to do is just make sure that I'm never sliding my right rear tire, especially in 3 and 4. Extremely easy to do. And then 1 and 2, I just want to make sure I'm not overdriving entry to the point where I'm roasting my right front. So both tires have the potential here to have a lot of heat added into them. And the decisions that you make, dang it, I'm not good at this talking and driving thing. The decisions that you make can also influence that. So like by deciding to brake early and get to the bottom, I can make sure that I don't put too much on my tires for 1 and 2. And then 3 and 4, if you have to choose between forcing a full throttle and maybe sliding your rear or backing off to like 75%, especially on a long run, you don't have to be at that full throttle all the way. Now right here, handled a lot better, so I was able to really do it without any issues. We'll do one more lap here just to get an idea of what the tire wear is going to be. I think usually at this combo, right rear outwears the right front, unless you really overdrive turn 1, which is possible to do. You can even start to force full throttle pretty early in 1 and 2 as long as you're kind of doing it with a neutral handling. 3 and 4 is where it really comes into play how well you're taking care of your tires. 1 and 2 is like the skill corner. 3 and 4, it just proves to people how good your tires are. And you'll see that. There'll be a lot of lifting. The earlier that you can lift into 3, the better that you can maximize what you do have. Do not get past that banking transition without lifting. That's like the absolute no man's zone. So yeah, 99, 98. So right rear wearing more. Definitely just want to keep the car under you. Don't try to push things too much. And try to keep the heat out of the rear tire. All right. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you all on the track.